We had an incredible night last night. Well, it was kind of like afternoon, but we went to this church which we had never gone to before, and my dad was gonna preach. Dad, you're watching this. Hi. And we walked in, and then like it was mainly youth, and then my dad was like, "Hey, Peter, do you wanna do the message?" I think it was a new record for least time prepared for a message, but yeah. But I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then so I'll admit I was nervous, and I was like, I don't know okay, what words are we gonna talk about? And I didn't have much time, and we're greeting people, and you don't want to just spend the first, part. Like we're at the church for the first time, we're meeting people, like you're socializing. It's not like I'm just gonna go in the corner and pray. And as this 20 minutes was going by before I was preaching with worship and interacting with the people, God was just teaching me, and about preaching, and about connecting with people, and how it's about relationship, and it's really not about words, but it's about the Spirit of God. It's not about the wisdom. It's about carrying the Spirit. I'm determined to know nothing except for Jesus, and yeah. But again, you guys know I've been studying Genesis 18, and it's the first time with worship and Abraham meeting with the Lord. And it was so interesting, and I didn't realize it until a little bit ago, but how the story of Abraham in this 18 chapter, it was played out last night in my life with me meeting with the Lord. And I was like, what do I talk about? What do I want to talk about? What do I want to talk about? And I was like, I'm trying to look up verses on my phone and notes and everything. There's this little girl, her name is Hannah. She kept talking with me. She's like, no, look, Peter, look. And I actually want to show you it. She drew like this whole, as I was in my head, supposed to be preparing for the message, she's like drawing this picture of me and telling me about water and like rest, like me sleeping in the bed and my dresser and my backpack and me getting ready for school and butterflies and me and meeting. And I'm trying to, like, God, what am I supposed to preach about? And she keeps, whenever I feel like I'm about to get something, she's like, no, Peter, look. And it was like the Lord. Remember Abraham? And it was like, so Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, and then there was the Lord. And we get so caught up with what the word is, the words, and not carrying the Spirit. And he's like, it was God saying, he's just like, I just want to meet with you. I just want to meet with you. And I went up on the stage, and then Dad introduced me and everything. And he was just saying, I want it to be still. I want to sit with you. I don't want you to talk. I just want you to sit there with everybody, and I want you to be still, and I need it to be quiet. And I was like, God, I was so nervous. I was like, God, it's going to be awkward. People are just going to stare. Like, I'm in front of the church, and I'm just sitting there, and God's like, no, be quiet, Peter, be still. Be still. Don't have all the words. And as I was just sitting there on the stage, then the Lord came. And he met with me. And I just started to weep on the stage. Just crying on the stage because I felt him so strong. And it was so uncomfortable at first. And I was like, okay, God, this is it. Like, you know how you have all the rush. And you're like, okay. And then the Lord just met with me. And he was there. And I was like, it was just what you've been studying, and then it just lived out. And I talked about Abraham, and I talked about being close with the Lord and discovering the person of Jesus, and then I shared some testimony. But it's amazing how God, in the scriptures, would just plan things out. And it's not just concepts. Like, it's not just read the story and then look how God is nice. No, you get to know a person, and you realize the personality, and you realize the pattern of Jesus, and then you start to live out the patterns, and he starts to live out the patterns in your life. And it was so cool to, I don't know, I'm still starstruck. I still get starstruck sometimes, because it's the same God that met with Abraham is now meeting with me in the church and asking me to sit with him. The same Jesus that was with the disciples when he was eating and washing their feet is now sitting with me, meeting with me.